Welcome everyone to our annual ASUN Center for Student Engagement, Civic Learning, and Democratic Engagement Recognition event. My name is Amy Koeckes and my pronouns are she, her, hers. I'm the Associate Director at the Center for Student Engagement, and I am sad we can't have our event in person this year, but I'm excited that we can still highlight all of the great work from the 2020 to 2021 academic year around democratic civic engagement. Before we start the full program, I would like to first acknowledge the traditional territory of the Native peoples of Nevada and extend our appreciation for the opportunity to live and learn on their territory. The names of the tribe of the Great Basin Native people: Nama, Northern Paiute; Washu, Washoe; Noa, Western Shoshone; and Nuave, Southern Paiute. By recognizing our indigenous population of this land, we are also acknowledging the traditional history of this state and the university's commitment to strengthening ongoing partnerships with our indigenous communities. The University of Nevada, Reno is dedicated to developing leaders that serve their state, national, and global communities and become a catalyst for improving the world. To that end, the University of Nevada, Reno, through the Center for Student Engagement, began our intentional work around civic learning and democratic engagement in 2012. We shifted our organizational structure to reform our current work in student development in order to refocus it on civic learning, democratic engagement, and responsible student citizenship. Each year, our goal is always to grow both the quality of our work as well as its reach. During this recorded event, you will hear from the university president, university alumni, supporters, students, student groups, campus, and community partners. We strive to create an inclusive, excellent campus that strives to exceed policies and quotes to create a vibrant, welcoming community for all as we strive for social justice. I am proud to say that we are setting the standards that our students must work to make a difference in their civic life of our global communities, and that our students must embrace the idea of lifelong commitment for simply being a good citizen. We are excited to share our civic engagement acknowledgements from the 2020 to 2021 academic year, from voter engagement to volunteering to addressing food insecurity to creating spaces for dialogues. I hope that you enjoy the program that we have put together for you.
Every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun, let us march on till victory is won.
Hello, everyone. It's great to be with you today. This is one of those gatherings where you can't say thank you enough. We speak often about the responsibilities that come with being in the Wolfpack family. Understanding our civic duties is just one part of this vital equation. Doing something, being involved, and working to involve others is what democratic engagement is all about. The amount of work that the ASUN Center for Student Engagement does each year to further and encourage this involvement in our communities is inspiring and worth noting this morning. Community service, engaged scholarship, activism, philanthropy, and public service. So much of this worthy work finds its starting point with ASUN, its leaders, and the work done by the Center for Student Engagement. I'd like to thank all of the individuals, from our faculty and staff to all of our students, who work really long hours and make a number of sacrifices throughout the year in order to ensure that civic and democratic engagement is one of the guiding lights of our campus. They do this because they understand that without involvement, democracy cannot truly flourish. They do this because they know that all it takes is encouragement and education to find change and to discover new directions. They do this because they want our university to be the best we can possibly be. I need to also acknowledge the influence and example of a great Nevada family this morning too. I've known Senator Richard Bryan for a long time. If there is any public servant who embodies the notion of what today's awards are all about, it's Richard Bryan. What is so wonderful about Senator Bryan's example is that he has shared his life with the rest of us. He has told us we are all capable of doing great things, that we can always aspire to help others. Senator Bryan has encouraged others to follow the path that he has followed because he has always felt it is his duty to make Nevada a better place. The more who follow this path of civic engagement and responsibility, the more we know Nevada can realize its promise. Senator Bryan learned this from the example of his family. He and his family have been sharing this lesson with us for a very long time. The bottom line for all of us is this: you cannot make a difference if you're not involved. And this is the example we are seeing today with all of the individuals and groups who are being honored. The community partners, the campus departments, and all of the students honored here today have come together to provide such an amazing example of what can happen when we collaborate, share, and work together. To all those who we honor today, thank you for all that you've done. You represent the very best about our university. Keep up the great work and keep encouraging everyone that they have it within themselves to make our university, our community, and our state an even better place than it already is. Go Pack!
My name is Ken Brook. I am a 2016 graduate of the University of Nevada. I currently serve as Legislative Director to Congressman Mark Amodei. I've actually been with the Congressman now for 8 years, having started an internship when I was a student in 2013. I was promoted to be his Legislative Director in November of last year, so I've served in this role for almost 5 months now. So I first served in the Nevada Youth Legislature in high school. That was from 2011 until 2012. I then was in ASUN for 2 years. I was a senator from 2014 to 2015, and then I served as Chief Justice of ASUN from 2015 to 2016. Shortly after graduating, I moved out to Washington, D.C., and I've worked on Capitol Hill for the Congressman ever since. Service is using your position and the resources that you have to try to give back to your community and try to make everybody's lives in the community a little bit better. One of my proudest accomplishments through this has actually been specifically with UNR. For about 2 years, we worked hand in hand with UNR's administration to try to get some federal funding for the facility services building on campus that had been contaminated by federal activities going back 8 decades ago. And it turned out to be a really good process to get some money back to UNR. We were able to get $12 million specifically for the university to help remediate the contamination on campus and get the building hopefully to be able to be used again by the university in the next couple of years or so. I would love to move back to Nevada sometime in the near future. Right now, I'm pretty focused just on the job at hand and serving both the congressman and the state of Nevada as best as I can here on Capitol Hill, but Nevada will always be home.
Community engagement is the key in the co-creation of knowledge with our students. We worked hard this past year to find ways our students could still connect with others during a worldwide pandemic. It wasn't easy, but our community partners, on-campus partners, and student clubs found ways in which they could be committed to the teaching and learning mission of the university. In 2016, we launched GivePulse, an online tracking platform for volunteering and service learning classes. I'm happy to announce that since the launch of GivePulse in fall 2016, our students have provided over 71,000 hours, which has created an economic impact of over $1.9 million to the Northern Nevada community. Thank you so much for your partnership. By working together, we are addressing pressing problems in our community. I want to thank each of you to know that without these partners, our students would not be the student citizens they are today. Thank you to all of these partners for allowing learning, discovery, and engagement to happen in your spaces, both on and off campus. You will now see videos from our top community partners, on-campus partners, and student clubs from this past year.
My name is Danny Gleach. I work for the city of Reno as our recreation manager for our aquatics and our athletics division. Basically what we've been able to do over the past, gosh knows how many years, we've been able to provide as many opportunities as we can for students. We've definitely had opportunities through our inclusion department for wheelchair rugby and wheelchair basketball games and programs that they do. We've also been able to do plant sales and watering plants and doing field days of kind of just clean up with our parks department and our athletics team. We've always needed volunteers and used volunteers for our senior games program, which is kind of like our senior Olympic thing that we host. As well as we used to have a volunteer that would run the community garden for us over at Paradise Park Rec Center. Our inclusion department has also hosted the Dog Fest event, which has been a great asset over at Dick Taylor Park, right by campus, as well as the holiday or Halloween trunk or treat program that our youth division has hosted. And to me, myself, for volunteering, you know, I've always enjoyed being able to volunteer. It's something that even in a normal work day, you know, sometimes it's volunteering just to help out other divisions or departments within the city, doing something for them. During the pandemic, I even volunteered for a day or two with the United Way just to deliver meals to seniors. You know, having been in Parks and Recreation for 12, 13 years now, through different areas and towns, you know, I've always been able to use volunteers, whether it's been a special event, an Eagle Scout project. You know, we've always needed volunteers. We know that they're a big asset to any kind of Parks and Recreation department because we never have enough staff. You know, our Parks department, for example, has been understaffed since 2007, 2008, and we've always taken advantage of anyone who's willing to help and like I said, even just watering plants for us. So we always look to do what we can. Next year, for example, we look to re-implement our corporate challenge event, which kind of allows different different neighborhood businesses to compete against one another, and to do that as well. We always, part of our program as well is the need for volunteers, whether it's from the different organizations, whether it's from the community itself, you and our students, being able to help organize those competitions and laugh right along with us depending on how the events are going. So that's always something exciting. So it's really been it's great having volunteers. I think they're a wonderful asset to everything that we do. The city itself even has a volunteer commendation award, which it basically, when we have a volunteer that has performed above and beyond any expectations through the city, it's an award that we like to give out through the city. So it's one of those things that we just have those extra advantages to kind of facilitate as much of this as we can, and really do what we can to offer opportunities and give back to the city in any way possible.
Hi, everyone. My name is Rachel Quatrin. Thank you for having me today. I'm the Immunize Nevada's volunteer coordinator. So I'm located out of our Reno office, but I work with volunteers all across the state, so in Reno and Las Vegas. And I work on volunteer recruitment, retainment, and a lot of appreciation, and anything to do in between. So I'm constantly working with our volunteers, our undergraduate interns, and yeah, that's a little bit about what I do. And then the types of volunteer opportunities that Immunize Nevada has been fortunate enough to be able to bring to volunteers. For most of 2021, we've been doing a lot of COVID-19 vaccine clinics. So here in Reno specifically, we have been in partnership with Smith's Pharmacy to offer COVID vaccines to the general public, which has been really, really great. And we honestly couldn't do that without our volunteers. They bring lots of different backgrounds and perspectives. And even though a lot of them are non-clinical and can't actually offer immunizations, we have them help with anything from like line management, helping with screening, assisting folks fill out their paperwork, really just like answering questions and being supportive to the vaccinators on site. So that's been really great. And then we also send a lot of our volunteers over to Washoe County Health District, where they have their COVID vaccine pods set up at the Livestock Event Center. So they have those pods set up pretty much every day of the week, besides Sundays, I believe. And we send our volunteers there each week, and they really appreciate the opportunity to help out in that capacity with screening and traffic managing and all of that. So yes, the COVID pods have really kept our volunteers busy, and we have really appreciated their help through all of them. And then volunteerism, what it means to our organization. In general, volunteerism is a huge part of Immunize Nevada. We are a service enterprise certified organization, so we do take it very seriously, and we really want to make sure that our volunteers are getting a lot out of the experience with us. So we try to offer tailored volunteer opportunities to some of them who might be a little bit more experienced or qualified. And we really just want to make sure that they're happy in their role. We do have around 200 active volunteers. Those are clinical and non-clinical, between Reno and Las Vegas, and then even some rural areas. And most of those volunteers this year have been assisting with our COVID-19 vaccine effort. In 2020, our volunteers gave nearly 3,000 service hours between the whole state. And that includes one-time volunteers, some of our longstanding volunteers who have been with us for years, and then our undergraduate interns. So yeah, just to cap it off, volunteerism is a huge part of our organization, and we really couldn't do it without you all. So thank you.
Hello, I'm Michael Brazier, President and CEO of United Way of Northern Nevada in this year. United Way is a social service nonprofit here to solve our community's most pressing issues. We've been in our community for over 80 years, and I have the privilege of serving as the CEO and president and leading the organization into the future. This past year, our organization had to seriously pivot and create volunteer opportunities that were virtual to make sure we were meeting the needs of our community and still giving people the opportunity to give back to their community. Students were such a huge help as we launched our virtual volunteer portal. Students were able to sign up to send thank you letters to teachers, to send thank you letters to frontline workers, to helping create masks that we then distribute to the community. So we were able to offer these virtual opportunities, and the students were able to connect and still give back to their community in a meaningful way that was really relevant to the impacts of COVID on our community. Volunteerism is the most important thing that we can do. We, as an individual, if we want our community to be better, we have to be involved, right? And getting involved as a volunteer is that first step of making sure that we're giving back and helping creating a better Northern Nevada for all of us. As an organization and as the leader of the organization, volunteers are at the heart of what we do. Our mission is to link the community's will and resources to improve lives. One of the ways that we link those will and resources is through volunteerism. So we cannot do our work from the volunteers that serve on our board of directors, to the volunteers that serve on our committees that help us look at our financial statements or help us allocate funds out to the community, to those volunteers like the university students who have helped us read to children or helped us make masks. It's key in everything that we do in accomplishing our mission to improve lives here in Northern Nevada. I wanted to thank all the students at the University of Nevada, Reno. You have been such a huge help this past year in giving your time to make sure that we could help our community. So thank you so much for all the hours of volunteerism that you've given this year.
My name's Jayde Sarasua. I am the coordinator in research, education, and outreach for the Latino Research Center at the University of Nevada. Some of the projects that we've had an opportunity to work with our intern students have been our cultural annual celebration of Dia de los Muertos, some of the help in organizing Latinx cultural graduation celebration as well, and other community impactful projects like the translation into Spanish of the Truckee Meadows COVID-19 meter, as well as the translation of our website being one of the first UNR websites to be fully translated in Spanish because of the community that we serve, as well as this semester working on the efforts to create a Northern Nevada resource guide that is intended for the Latinx community living in Northern Nevada. So we've had very important projects that we've had the opportunity to work with our students throughout the volunteer and intern opportunities that are available. Usually we partner with students who are students, departments, organizations, clubs, and orgs that are looking for volunteer work that is intended for either allowing them to build skill or have a practicum of their bilingual Spanish language. Or getting to know more of the needs and involvement in the Latinx community here in Northern Nevada. We partnered up with the Latino Student Advisory Board, with the center in the past, with the honors students, and the Spanish 400 practicum, which seemed to be our returning group of students that we enjoy. Like I've mentioned, what volunteerism means to us at the Latino Research Center is really a partnership between the intern or the volunteer and the faculty and staff of the Latino Research Center, a partnership that allows us to be committed to a purposeful common mission between the volunteer and us. And the work that is taken in order to allow that intern or that student, that volunteer, to maximize some of the skills and passions that they already have through this common goal, and supporting them in order to really help build upon an existing skill or a skill that they desire as well. And I think that we have been lucky enough to remain very close to our students. through the changes in the digital world through this pandemic, to try to keep offering volunteer opportunities. We've had to decrease the number of volunteers that we take in, nonetheless, but we've tried to continue to offer those opportunities because we know that it's important to continue to provide a space for volunteers to be engaged with the community, to have impactful projects and do volunteer work that they could see that directly impacts the community, as well continues to grow their skills and allows them to practice their bilingual Spanish language as well.
Hi, my name is Marianne Christensen, and I'm an assistant director at the Disability Resource Center here on campus. We've been using GivePulse for about the past 2 years as a way for our DRC peer mentors to chart their volunteer hours for the DRC Peer Mentor Program. And at one point, we had one of our mentors win the Silver Paw Award from ASUN based on the number of hours that she mentored in our DRC Peer Mentor Program. I guess volunteering means to me, it's really about social relationships and a way for people to show that they matter in each other's lives. And this is just a really great way for our mentors to show that they do matter in each other's lives and that one life touches so many others.
Hello, my name is Katie Luna. I am the coordinator of student actualization and engagement for the University of Nevada, Reno Honors College. The question is, how does your department contribute to volunteering? Our students contribute by volunteering to different local, national, and sometimes international organizations. For example, hospitals, clinics, schools, Boys and Girls Club, Big Brothers Big Sisters, crisis support services, food banks, volunteering for different research labs on and off campus. Our students also support each other by becoming peer mentors. Currently, we have 29 peer mentors. We call them peer coaches. And each peer coach supports between 7 to 10 incoming students for a whole year. The next question I have is, what does volunteering mean to me? In a few words, it means a valuable ripple effect. Through service, we support our community, we connect with a variety of different individuals, and also gain valuable experiences while supporting one another. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Cheryl Hug English. I'm the director of the Student Health Center, and I am humbled and honored that the Student Health Center has been selected as one of the top campus partners for volunteerism. I can say that the Student Health Center, it is our privilege to provide opportunities for our campus. We are in the medical field, in a profession of service, and I think that volunteerism really is all about service. It is about going above and beyond. It is about dedicating time and talent. And I will, on behalf of my staff, say that this past year has been a year that I think the Student Health Center has reached beyond what our normal efforts have been. We are always about service to our campus community. However, this past year with COVID, we have certainly had opportunities to provide additional services for our campus community. I am proud of my staff and the efforts that all of them have given on behalf of our campus, whether it is in providing COVID testing on a daily basis, whether it has been coming in on a weekend to provide COVID testing, staying late in the evenings or on weekends to do contact tracing, or more recently to provide vaccination clinics. My staff has stepped up in every way, and I am so proud of each and every one of them. In addition, we've provided volunteer opportunities for interns that have worked side by side with us in this past year, providing some of these services as well. They've helped us in our front office. They've helped volunteer in our vaccine clinics, our COVID testing clinics, as well as helping provide support for data entry, and multiple other ways. We are grateful to all of our student workers and our student volunteers that have helped us be successful in this past year. I am incredibly grateful to continue to be part of this campus community and have the privilege to help serve in a way in volunteering and providing support for our campus.
Hi, my name is Sabrina Jaynes and I am part of the Bonner Leaders program on campus. I'm a sophomore currently, and I'm triple majoring in economics, business management, and GRI. Some of the placements our volunteers have worked at have been the Honors College on campus, Envirolution, Love for the Elderly, Northern Nevada Ray Foundation, and Lemelson STEM Academy. Volunteering to our organization means more than just going in and completing hours. To us, we want to create a change to the system that we are currently under that affects marginalized individuals in our community.
Hi, my name is Noni. I am a representative for Phi Sigma Pho sorority. I was the previous president in the last term, but I am a graduating senior, and so I did not take any leadership positions this term. But yeah, and so what Phi Sigma Pho has currently going on right now is that we are compiling birthday boxes for families who have been impacted by COVID or who are just not financially able to give their child birthday decorations and make a party for them. And so what we're doing is that we divided the sorority into groups, and those groups are compiling a birthday box, which entails cupcakes, decorations, all of the works basically, and with a certain theme we pack it up and we give it to this organization, and that's essentially it for us. It's a great way to get volunteering done and work as a sorority in order to help out families that really need it. And in the past we've done a slew of many volunteer activities. There's kind of like all over the board really. We've done things like with Nevada Fit Move-In. We've helped students basically move into their dorms. And we've also done more community-based things such as ASPCA blanket making, where we made tie blankets for these puppies who are obviously not adopted yet, but we were able to create, at least every girl who was able to attend to that was able to make at least one blanket, and that became around at least 20 blankets for that ASPCA foundation. And then we've also done way more things in the past as well, but that's just a glimpse into what we've really accomplished as a chapter, especially being a new chapter on campus. We pride ourselves in getting a lot of service done every semester. And I think that volunteerism to us kind of just means similar to how a sorority kind of is to our girls, where we want to be a part of something bigger and work and find a community that is ideal for us. And I think as a sorority, we want to be impactful, not just in the UNR community, but also in the Reno Sparks community. And because of that, we try to branch out into organizations that, that Give Pulse doesn't just have. We also do volunteer hours that are hosted on Give Pulse as well. And we just try to make sure that we're leaving the world a better place than before.
My name is Milan Kumar. I am currently a senior here at UNR, and I am majoring in neuroscience, and I'm the president for Rho Psi. It's like a national honor society for neuroscience majors. And so some of the volunteering that we've been able to do is through a nonprofit organization called Immunize Nevada. And essentially we get to work with the National Guard out at the Reno Livestock Center, where everyone's getting vaccinated, to help check in people's paperwork and essentially help them get the entire community vaccinated. So we've been able to put a lot of hours into that. And then we've been working with Keep Truckee Meadows Beautiful as well to help just clean up parks in our community and stuff like that. And then we also participate in the Food Bank of Northern Nevada as well to help out the homeless get food packages there. And so, yeah, we just all of that too was within the last like year, actually within this last semester, because last semester was really difficult for an outreach club to get outreach events. And so I was very fortunate to be able to pair up those organizations with our club to get a lot of our like pre-med majors to get their hours. And then for volunteerism, what it means for me is it's kind of an opportunity to help out the community, usually with like a job or something like that. You're working for it for sometimes for the money, sometimes for the experience, but like volunteering is straight up like your own time, whatever you're willing to dedicate, and it's on your own terms. And so it just means that you give your time up pretty much to help other people out. And I think that's just like a really good thing to have experience-wise too.
Hello, my name is Yadira Izquierdo. I am a senior. I am majoring in business management. I am part of Kappa Delta Chi Sorority Inc., and I am the service officer for the sorority. So a few of the events that we have done currently and throughout the past have been creating hygiene kits for like the Reno Gospel Mission and just like the homeless communities around there. So we've put like shampoos and all that stuff in there. We've also done street cleanups. We are associated with Keep Truckee Meadows Beautiful. So we do have a designated street that we do cleanups on. We have also done just in external, like on our own hours, like delivering with dignity. We've also written letters for the healthcare workers, for the Washoe County school teachers. We've done a lot of just showing our appreciation and efforts for those that are kind of at the front line right now with the whole pandemic. Volunteering for us, for me, myself, it would mean that giving back to the community, whether it is your time, whether it is monetary, like a donation, whether it's something just that brings joy to someone's life, whether it makes just their day or it makes their whole life. Little things go a long way, and it always makes a difference in a person's life, especially when there's people that don't have others that give them these resources. Just having someone that's willing to give their time to them always makes them happy, and at the end of the day, appreciative that there's someone looking out for them, even if it is anonymously.
Hello, everyone. My name is Caprice Young, and I'm the Outreach Coordinator for the Center for Student Engagement. And this part of our CLDE recognition celebration is on behalf of our civic and democratic engagement efforts that we've done this year. So we'd love to recognize the students who have done 100 hours of civic engagement work thus far. We'd also like to recognize our PAC provisions team, users, and donors. A special thanks to Jenna Stevens, Kiara Gordon, Nina Hernandez, Andrea Skirby, and Sierra Jackson for all the hard work that you have done thus far for PAC provisions. We'd also like to give a shout out to our Wolfpack Community Howl facilitators and participants. This year we have done 4 howls on 4 different topics, leading to deliberative dialogues. And even though this year was just a little bit different, we still were able to hold our signature service events, which include Dog Fest, Cesar Chavez Day of Service, and our democratic engagement efforts, which including expanding our voting booths. We also started an I Am a Voter mask wearing campaign. We held a voter summit and a lot of voter education. So thank you for all of the hard work that you've done this far, and we hope you continue to be civically and democratically engaged.
I've been fortunate enough to work on films and stories that I really care about.
It's a mindset ingrained into her while a student here at Nevada.
The spirit of volunteerism and civic engagement and all those things that they teach us at the university are lessons for the rest of our lives.
And that's why she's giving back by starting a scholarship at Nevada for journalism majors, specializing in strategic communications, with a preference given to students involved in clubs and organizations.
I just genuinely believe that there is something very special about Reno, about what happens on that campus. Nobody does it the way Nevada does it.
Now we'd like to honor our Silver Paw awardees. The Silver Paw Award is a recognition program sponsored by the ASUN Center for Student Engagement. The goal of the award is to recognize students who embody the ideals and spirit of engaged students. Winners are students or groups of students who have made exemplary contributions to their community in civic engagement. The Silver Paw Committee is comprised of myself, both academic and administrative faculty, our UNR undergraduate and graduate students, as well as community members. So thank you, Silver Paw Committee, for all of your hard work in choosing our awardees, and thank you to our students for going above and beyond in civic engagement.
My name is Abuntori Blaize Abuntori. My major is MS Statistics and Data Science, and I'm in my final year in the University of Nevada, Reno. The name of the organization is the Reno Burrito Project, and what we basically do is to make burritos. Then we fill it in our coolers, and then we have some water, hygiene kits, and fruits and snacks, and then we walk down to downtown, and then we walk to the Believe sign, and then to Tent City, and anybody who's in need of a burrito, we give it. But one of the most important things for us is to be able to have conversations with the houseless community to get to know what their problems are and to see where we can be able to help out. So sometimes, like when it gets colder, we get people saying that they need more blankets or they need more like hand warmers and that kind of stuff, or like, more boxes to wear. And then we try to fill that need with the amount of volunteers that we have. So this started last year in April. We just celebrated our 1 year. And when I first came to Reno in August 2019, I saw a bunch of houseless people around, and I didn't understand it. I'm from Ghana, West Africa, and like most of the things that I see on television about America is not what I expected to see. And then I just felt like I wanted to do something, because growing up, we lived in a community where there's always somebody to help you. There's always somebody to give you food or something of that sort. So I realized that I couldn't find a place for everybody to stay, but I could share food with the person. So I decided to commit to spending $20 a day to help to buy food. And fortunately for me, I discovered burritos. Even before I started, I couldn't pronounce the word burritos. I couldn't make a burrito. And so I went to Roberto's, bought about 4 burritos, and then handed everything out, which was a great experience for me, but I felt like I could do more if I prepared it. And so I got a recipe from my roommate and then called some friends to come and help me make these burritos and rolled it. And we did 15 burritos, and up to our first year, we've handed about over 10,000 burritos now to the houseless community. And then we roll close to 300 burritos every single week now, with over 30 volunteers helping almost every week. So it's been a great experience. And yeah, that's how we started, like, how can I be part of the solution, however small it is? And thankfully, the whole city of Reno came to help out. And then we've been able to do a bigger impact than just like the 4 burritos I handed out on the first week. Most of our communication is through Instagram and social media, Facebook, and that's where we get a lot of our volunteers from. We have a sign-up sheet where people can sign up to cook some rice, cook some beans. We have volunteers who are chefs who cook the beef recipe. And so we have like 3 categories where people help to cook, another category where people come to help to roll the burritos. And then the last category is those people who come to help us like walk all the way down streets to downtown to be able to like hand out the burritos and then give it out to people who are in need of it. So it's like a whole village coming to take care of each other. So we have all these people helping out in some big and some little ways. Some people come in with fruits, some people come in with water, and then we just come together as like a group of people trying to just be of service to the community. So growing up, my dad always helped a lot of people. We lived in like a 2-bedroom house, but like there was like 15 people at any point in time, from cousins to strangers to people. And so I grew up in that kind of a community where like we're always helping each other out and being part of like the solution, however small, if it's just like a place to sleep or food to eat. And for me, I realized that being kind and showing love in your community should be blind. It should be irrespective of your color, your race, or where you're from, or what you're doing at different points in your time. So I just felt the need that I wanted to give back to the community, because that's how I grew up, and that's how I saw that everybody, like, I thought that is the normal thing, that like, you know, when you see somebody having a problem and then you are in a situation where you can be of service, it doesn't have to be some big grand gesture, and that is also good. It can be some small gesture, and like, I'm so glad that like even a small gesture of 4 burritos have grown to a community of like handing out over 10,000 burritos. And I really believe that when kind people come together, we can really cause some change in the community. So it's very important to me, like, you know, coming together as a community, not feeling so powerless, and that understanding that like when we come together, we can actually begin to cause some change. And then when we do it often enough and consistent enough, we can actually make an impact. So it's very, very dear to me. And I really believe that like kind people in large numbers can make a change.
My name is Johanna Cohen. I am currently a senior at the University of Nevada, Reno. I'm a neuroscience major as well. Campus Escort serves to help the student community and faculty on campus. So we attempt to give safe rides to campus and then to their homes. We also have packed provisions. We're working with them as well to make sure students are getting food during this time. So we deliver that food to them, and then also sometimes our students volunteer to help package that food as well. Another important thing that we do is we have safety officers that are going around, and currently they're making sure that everybody is following the mask mandates and following all the mandates that we have currently on campus. We also have shuttle rides that go throughout the week. And then on the weekends, we provide shuttles to Winco and Walmart as well for students on campus. And then personally, I am the student director for internal development. So that means I'm in charge of our uniforms, scheduling our meetings, and also making sure that every student has their questions answered and our manuals are all up to date. Implementing PAC provisions with Campus Escort has actually been a really nice implementation that we've brought on with Campus Escort. And so with this, we've actually noticed, we have students that are regularly putting in orders. And I think we're just realizing the impact that we're actually making, especially when a student, sends an email to your supervisor and lets you know that it really did make a difference for them. Some of these students don't have the money to go out and buy food. And so being able to implement this and being able to deliver it to students, you realize that, although it might seem like a small
benefit in that moment, it really does go a long way. You're helping students, not go hungry. You're helping them graduate at the end of the day because they don't have to worry financially whether or not they can put food in their stomach. So overall, I think it's been an amazing impact for us. Engagement to me is being able to be aware of what's going on in your community and actually trying to make a difference for your community. So for me, I like to do, if I can't do something every week, I'll try to do something once a month, whether it's making a card for elderly individuals in the community, whether it's trying to step up and help at work wherever I can, volunteering, pretty much just serving as not only an advocate, but, as someone willing to help the community out when they need it, and just realizing, that you're there as necessary to serve.
Hi, I'm Sabrina Jaynes. I'm a sophomore at the university, and I'm a triple major in economics, business management, and GRI. So this past year, my main two roles has been one in the Honors College as a peer coach and mentor for the incoming freshman class. I've also been the assistant director of programming this past year for the Bonner Leaders Program, where myself and several other students have been working on involving the program away from random volunteer hours into a more focused, long-term, substantial change that will affect the greater Reno community. Also been spending a few hours volunteering through a local nonprofit called Project 150, which helps homeless and disadvantaged high school students in the area. I am motivated in the field of civic engagement, and I have a passion towards it due to my upbringing into college. There was a lot of individuals that helped me along my difficult path entering university, and I just want to contribute back to what others have helped me with.
I have the pleasure of introducing Senator Richard Bryan. A number of years ago, he worked with our Development and Alumni Relations Department to set up an undergraduate student award called the Richard and Bonnie Bryan Family Public Service Award. This award was established to recognize one undergraduate student who has demonstrated an outstanding record of civic engagement at the University of Nevada, Reno. The winner of this award was selected from the undergraduate students who won the Silver Paw Award this year. As an undergraduate at the university, Senator Bryan served as the president of ASUN during the 1958 and 1959 school year. After graduating from the University of California Hastings Law School, Senator Bryan elected positions include 2 terms in the Nevada State Assembly, 2 terms in the Nevada State Senate, Nevada Attorney General, 2 terms as governor of Nevada, and 2 terms as U.S. Senator from Nevada. In 1995, he was honored as the university's Alumnus of the Year. In 2001, he received the university's honorary doctorate degree, and in 2011, he was recognized by the Nevada System of Higher Education as a distinguished Nevadan. Thank you to Richard Bryan for your support of the university and our students.
Well, I came to the university as a freshman in 1955. My father was a graduate of the university in 1932, and he had regaled me over many years about his days at the university. He loved them. He was very active on campus. And so that's where I was headed. Arriving in 1955, the campus was still quite small. And I knew that I wanted to get into a fraternity and be a part of the Greek system, and I did. I was active in a lot of different groups on campus. I was a student senator for that student union and was an assembly chairman and a homecoming committee chairman. And I ran unsuccessfully for senator at large the first time. There's a story behind that, but obviously too lengthy to discuss in this context. And then I was elected student body president in the fall, strike that, in the spring of 1958. And really that was kind of the high point for me. I thoroughly enjoyed it and treasure those days. I met my wife at the university. She was 2 years behind me, and she too was active on campus. She loved the university as I did. And so it was kind of a natural decision on our part to create a scholarship in both of our names for those that are dedicated and committed to public service. think public service takes many different forms. Obviously, you don't have to run for elective office. You don't have to be involved in politics, but there's so many wonderful organizations in our community that desperately need volunteers. There's an opportunity for everyone to pursue their areas of interest and to be supportive of community endeavors. My father had an expression for it that I've not heard before, but I don't know that it's original. And he said, each of us, referring to each of us in the community, have an obligation to pay what he called your civic rent. And by that, I mean giving back to the community. That was always the hallmark of my life as an undergraduate, and later, after I got out of university and was a practicing lawyer and serving in a number of elected positions, public service was important to me. It builds the community, it enhances the community, it strengthens community ties. I mean, there's so many positive things. And if you give yourself an opportunity, it's very rewarding to see some of the little things that you might say, well, it really doesn't make a difference, but it does. And I think everybody should be encouraged to participate in their community. I say that today, even perhaps more so than 50 or 60 years ago when I was beginning my career, the community desperately needs good people in the community to volunteer, to participate in organizations that fit their own particular interest, and to be part of a community. One of the things that I fear greatly, and because I'm not a product of the digital age, I mean, today people communicate by email. I obviously do a lot of that myself. The social media silos, as I call them, have made us, I think, less connected. And I think today, involvement in the community, in activities, tends to reconnect us as a society. We're clearly more diverse than we have ever been in our nation's history. And I think that helps to solve some of the differences that we have, the different cultural perspectives, the different experiences we've had with our families, to get people together to work in the best interest of our community. Today, our society is much more diverse than it's ever been in our nation's history. There are cultural and economic gaps that we need to close. We need to bring people together to get involved in projects that we can all agree on. And there's so much of a need in our community for so many different forms of public service. So there is something for everyone. And I would encourage young people in particular to get involved with their community. It's very rewarding. The little things that you do can have an enormous impact on someone's life. I'm delighted to be able to express my congratulations to Jayde Powell, who is this year's recipient of the Richard and Bonnie Bryan Scholarship. She follows in the tradition of those that precede her, and she is precisely the kind of person that we want to recognize with this scholarship when Bonnie and I some years ago established the scholarship. So Jayde, congratulations to you. I hope this will encourage you to do even more.
Everyone, thank you for this nomination. My name is Jayde Powell. I'm a senior undergrad student at UNR. I am studying psychology and biology with minors in chem and addiction treatment. And I'm here today because of Shopping Angels, which is an organization that I started to help bring groceries to people who are at risk during the COVID-19 pandemic. I started this back in March of 2020 with the help of my mom and a lot of my friends here at UNR, and it quickly grew to be super, super big, and we are now able to help people across the country, which is super awesome. So the future of Shopping Angels is actually really exciting. We're starting to reach out to dialysis centers and rehab facilities to help patients who are recovering from medical procedures in hospitals and stuff, who are bedridden for X amount of weeks. So we're starting to branch out and make that one of our primary client groups. So we're going to be able to help people even after the pandemic is over. So I kind of grew up always volunteering. Both of my parents are retired military veterans, so I've been surrounded by service my whole life. I grew up volunteering for the Make-A-Wish Foundation with my mom. So volunteering has really been something I've done all of my life and something I really enjoy doing. And so it was really a no-brainer when I thought about the concept of Shopping Angels and what we could do with it. And the simple act of going to a grocery store is so simple. And so I definitely wanted to be able to help some people out through this means of community service. So Shopping Angels started off really small. I was really just recruiting my friends in Reno and Las Vegas to help deliver to the locals there. And we had some news organizations come in and cover us as a story. So we started to get people reaching out from all different states across the country. And eventually we even got people in Canada and Australia who wanted to help out. So we had 2 active branches in those countries as well, which is super cool. And it's really awesome to see the impact that people are making on their own in countries and states that are very far away from where I am. Thank you guys so much for the Richard and Bonnie Bryan Family Public Service Award. It has been a complete honor to have the support of the university, of professors, peers, and from my family members. You know, everybody has been so supportive, and it's been really overwhelming, but in a good way. And I am very thankful to be getting this support from everyone.
I just want to say a big thank you to ASUN for this honor, and of course to Senator Bryan and your family for all that you do for the university and all that you continue to do for the PAC and for our Wolfpack community. So just thank you so much. I currently have the honor of serving as the Director of Community Outreach and Constituent Affairs in the Office of Governor Steve Sisolak. I've been in this role for about 6 months, and prior to this, I was working in Houston, Texas, where I served as the Houston Area Director for the American Israel Public Affairs Committee for about 4 years. Both of my parents are public servants in the state of Nevada, and throughout my life, they always impressed upon me the importance of helping others. They both led by example and in their careers for the state and the school district, and I always admired that and their personal commitment to support our state. They even encouraged me to get involved in civic volunteering efforts and encouraged me to participate in my first canvassing opportunity for Harry Reid's Senate campaign when I was in middle school. From there, I was inspired to get involved through my school, my synagogue, through my role as Miss Reno Sparks 2011. And of course, that is what led to my work with ASUN. And to any students watching this, I just have to say ASUN was one of the most significant and meaningful experiences I had during my time at the University of Nevada. I had the opportunity to be really involved on campus and work collaboratively with my colleagues in ASUN and all the way up to the campus administration. And it taught me so much about leadership, volunteering, and afforded me many, many phenomenal opportunities that I really wouldn't have otherwise had. I also met several of my very closest friends during my time in ASUN, and it means the world to me that I was able to have that experience. Upon graduating from college, I had the opportunity to serve as Mayor Sheevy's Chief of Staff at the City of Reno. And from there, I moved to Texas, where I worked for AIPAC and lobbied Congress about all sorts of issues pertaining to the Middle East, particularly the U.S.-Israel alliance. I now have the distinct honor of serving my state in the governor's office, and this has truly been the opportunity of a lifetime to work in this office and help so many Nevadans. I also currently serve on the Emerge America Young Leaders Cabinet, where we are working to encourage more young women to get involved in politics and ultimately run for office. Public service means doing all that you can, as much as you can, to help as many as you can. I believe that there's always something that everyone can do to help someone else, and that all of those moments contribute to a really well-connected society and a thriving community. As a nation, a state, a city, a community, what have you, we are only as strong as our most vulnerable person. And it is incumbent on all people to get involved and take action wherever you can. As for my future plans, for now, I will continue to do all that I can to help the state that I love live up to its battle-born heritage and make it out of this pandemic even stronger than before. Beyond that, I hope one day to be able to run for public office and serve in a role that allows me to serve others and make an impact. I hope every student watching this walks away from this event knowing that they have the full support of the PAC behind them, and that we are all really looking forward to seeing the incredible things that you all will accomplish. And of course, go PAC.
As I stated at the opening, the University of Nevada, Reno is dedicated to developing leaders that serve their state, national, and global communities and become a catalyst for improving the world. Thank you to everyone for joining us for the ASUN Center for Student Engagement, Civic Learning, and Democratic Engagement Recognition event. As we wrap up our time together, I want you to let you know that you are all helping to continue to support the democratic civic engagement movement on our campus. We have great plans for the years to come and hope that you will be part of it. We hope this video informs you of the work we were doing at the Center for Student Engagement. If you find an initiative or program that you're interested in getting involved in, please let us know by stopping by the 3rd floor of the Joe Crowley Student Union on campus or email us at studentengagement@unr.edu. Thank you to the Center for Student Engagement staff, current and past ASUN student leaders, CSE student employees, the entire Division of Student Services, and Dr. Shannon Ellis and Ramondo Nash's leadership. A special thank you to Sandra Rodriguez for envisioning what democratic engagement could be at the University of Nevada, Reno. Your drive for equity, inclusion, and social justice is truly inspiring. Thank you to Caprice Young for putting this program together, as well as Josh and Trevor, our student video team from Inkblot Marketing, who edited this video today. And lastly, thank you for supporting the Wolfpack community and everything that you do.